Hi, my name is Felicia Fasheiton, and I'm glad to be back once again on another episode of Truth Unmasked. Today, I'd like to talk about the control tower, or better still, the central processing unit of our lives. Our mind works in the same way as the control tower or the central processing unit does. And so it's important for us to realize that our mind is a very powerful tool in the determinant of the success, failure, or health of our lives. And that's why the Bible tells us in Romans chapter 12, verse 2, that be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. Which means that a transformation in your life comes as a renewal in your mind. Which means that for your life to make progress, for your life to be healthier, for your life to be more successful, your mind has to make progress, your mind has to be healthier, and your mind has to be more successful. And then the Bible tells us also in Proverbs chapter 29, verse 17, that as in water, face reflects face, so does a man's heart. When you look at your face in water, you see an exact replica of your face like a mirror does. And the Bible says that is exactly the way your heart is to your life too. Like your life is the exact replica of your heart. And so this goes on to show us how important it is for us to protect our hearts and our minds. And we also have to realize that as important our mind is, our subconscious mind, which is like the brain box of our life, does not know the difference between reality, make-believe, imagination, dream, drama, or whatever. It produces the same results as if everything is real. Now I'll give you an example. You're watching a very emotional movie, and then you realize that somewhere in between, your heart breaks, your emotions begin to go up, your eyes begin to well up, and tears begin to drop from your eyes. Why all those reactions? You know it's just a play. It didn't happen. It was all staged. So why are you crying? Why are you shedding tears? Why do you feel so much resentment towards the person you feel is being unfair to the other party? That's because the subconscious mind does not know it's a play. It processes that information that you're seeing and you're hearing the same way it would have processed it if it really happened. And then you realize that your body begins to produce the same physiological results as it will produce in a real life situation. You're watching a movie that has so much climax in it and so much action in it, and then you see that as something's about to happen, your heart beats faster and you see your body moving in the same rhythm as the movie. It's a play. It didn't happen. It's a make-believe. It's pretend. So why are you so anxious? Why is your heart racing? Why is your body moving like you want to help out? That's because the subconscious mind does not know it's a play. Your subconscious mind is producing the same result as it would do if it was the reality. And that's why we need to realize that whatever goes into our hearts, into our minds, and into our lives produces the same results all the way, be it positive or be it negative. I'd like to also share a story about a village. I once heard this story about a village that had an epidemic, and some missionary doctors came to help them out, and they gave them drugs, they gave them therapies, they gave them so many things, but all these things seemed not to be working. And the missionaries were worried that what's going wrong. And so they decided to have a meeting with the village chiefs, and they shared their worries with them. And then one of the village chiefs said, well, you know what, in this village, they believe so much in the potency of injection. No matter what you give to them, if there are no injections, they ain't going to feel any better. So the only advice we have for you is that incorporate injection into your health plan. And so these missionary doctors went back and thought of it. How do we do this? The drugs are enough to make them feel okay. Why do we need to incorporate injections into the health scheme? And then they said, okay, if that's what they believe in, then we're going to give it to them. And so they decided to inject these people with sterile water. They told them that, oh, we now have injections added to your health plan to make you feel better and all of that. And so these villagers all came for the injection. And the doctors told them, keep using the drugs, don't stop using the drugs. The injection is just to aid your healing process, but it has to work with the drugs. And you know what? There was a sporadic change in their health. The health improved, they got better, the epidemic went off, and everything was okay. Why will water work better than drugs? Because they have programmed in their subconscious mind that the cure to every sickness is an injection. And because of that, their life is producing the same result. And so, despite the potency of those drugs, it didn't work because their subconscious mind had been programmed to believe in injections. And the moment their skin was pricked with that needle, their subconscious mind picked up the solution to the problem has finally arrived, and they started getting better. So that's exactly how life is. We program our minds, and then our minds take over from us and begins to create a reality in our lives. By the time the mind takes over, it requires a renewal of our minds to bring about a transformation in our lives all over again. And so it's very important that we make sure that we guard our hearts and our minds jealously. We need to ensure that the three inlets into our minds are guided seriously. And these are our eyes, our ears, and our mouths. Our eyes, our ears, and our mouths. We cannot live a better lifestyle than the life that we see, than the life that we hear, and the life that we profess with our mouth. And so henceforth begin to watch what you hear. Stay away from negative friends that all they see are the things that are not working. Stay away from people that don't see anything working around. The economy is not working. There are no jobs. The government is being unfair. That's all they talk about, because as long as you keep listening to them, your life will not produce a better result than that. Because if you see that is what their lives are producing. And then be conscious of what you see regularly. Begin to ensure that the things that you keep your eyes focused on are what you want the reality of your life to be. Get pictures of the kind of houses you want to live. Get pictures of the kind of cars you want to drive. Get pictures of the kind of nations you want to visit. Get pictures of the kind of colleges you want your children to go to. Put these pictures all over the rooms, the house, the bathroom, the toilets, everywhere. And tell your kids, one day you're going to be a student in that college. And I want you to say to yourself every day, one day I'm going to be a student in this college. Tell yourself every day, one day I'm going to live in this mansion as the owner. One day I'm going to drive this car as the owner. One day I'm going to walk down the streets of this country on a vacation. And then you see that the more you feed your eyes on those things, and the more they begin to stay within your mind, you begin to see them as being possible. Because your subconscious mind is absorbing all it's seeing and all it's hearing. And then also begin to watch what you say to yourself. Our minds was designed to protect us and guide us from stress and from harm. And so therefore, if all you give to your mind are questions, your mind is going to see those questions as a red light that stress is on its way. And so it's going to block it and going to find it difficult to think about the right solution to those problems. And so instead of asking yourself questions like, how am I going to do this? Will I be able to do this? Instead, issue statements to your mind like, this should be possible. I should be able to find a way around this. I am sure that if I think through this, I'll be able to do it. There must be a solution to this. This can't be the end of this. There will be a way around this. It can't be this bad. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. And then you see that your subconscious is going to pick those statements as a reality and not as stress factors and not as questions that need to stress you out to get answers. It's going to see those statements as a reality of your life, and it's going to begin to produce ideas and thoughts that will make you begin to see that these things are possible. In the same vein, you need to start programming your children positively. As parents, we unconsciously program our children negatively by the things we say to them. You come back home from work and are like, you've been playing all day, you've not read your book, all you do is play, 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 play. You need to get serious. And then you set 10 sentences to your child, and 9 out of those sentences are negative and only 1 positive sentence. And then you now start to say, oh, I keep saying the same thing over and over again, and they keep doing it. I keep saying the same over and over again, and I can't see any changes. Why? Because all you've been programming your child for are negative statements. So Instead of communicating what your child is not doing with your child, begin to communicate your expectations with your child. And your child's subconscious is going to pick those expectations as the reality of his or her life. And so instead of saying, why are you keeping the house untidy? Why are you not reading? Why are you not doing your homework? Instead, communicate your expectations. I expect you to do your homework when you come back from school. My expectations are that you should read your book before you play. I'm not asking you to do these things because I want to stress you out. These are things that you can do because I know you're smart enough, I know you're intelligent enough, and I know you're hardworking enough to do these things, and that's why I'm asking you to do it. So when you come back from work, read your book. When you go into your room, keep it clean because I know you can do it, because you have the ability to do it. You are not doing it because you are not giving yourself enough reasons why you need to do it. And even though you come back the next day and the house is still untidy, the books are not read, and the homework is still undone, you don't say, oh, I know you are not going to do it. I knew you will be playing. You're communicating to your child the expectations again. Your expectations are your child is not going to read, your child is going to play. And that's exactly what your child is going to produce, because those are your expectations of your child. But then, even if you come back again, you still tell your child, you didn't do your homework again today. I told you yesterday my expectations are that you'll be able to do your homework all by yourself. I told them my expectations of you are that you'll be able to keep your room clean. I'm not asking too much of you. I'm telling you this thing because I know these are things that you can do by yourself. And I want you to begin to do them by yourself. And then you find out that over a period of time, when you keep telling your child these statements over and over and over again, you find out that your house begins to run like it's on autopilot. Your children begin to walk towards living up to expectations because that's what they hear every day, because that's what you communicate to them all the time, because you tell them positive things and not negative things. And so I want you to realize that your life can be better than the state of your mind. And so it's not too late to reprogram your mind, because your mind does not believe in lateness. Your mind is always current, it's always ready. All you need to do is to change the way you think, and then your life will make a lot of progress. The only limitation you have in life is your mind. It's your imagination. So begin to think positively, and you see that you become who you think you are, because that is exactly how your life has been programmed to be. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through the open door.